Hi, this is BZ Rieger with the Quantum Playground. I'm playing with questions. It's March 3rd, and I still have a lot of snow. And I was able to take a few minutes away from work on a lunch break. Early lunch break, I don't know what time it is. Anyways, and I wanted to play with a question that somebody had called me. Tried calling me on the phone about, and we ended up Skyping for a minute about it. This is somebody I've known for years and years and years and years and years. And it was interesting. I hadn't heard from them in a long time, so I thought it was interesting to play. This being is someone who's well, since I hadn't heard from him in a long time, back then I wouldn't describe as all that awake, that present to what is going on within them and all around them, all around the world. But since then, a lot of sleep has been brushed from the eyes, small ways, and for them, big ways. And it's interesting, the question that they had was about them trusting their gut and looking at things in a certain way, and someone else having a conversation with them and having a perception, having a perspective, not only about the person who asked me the question, and things going on in the different encounters that these people have. They do some limited stuff at work, in a work type setting together, and I guess you call them acquaintances or friendly acquaintances. I don't know. I don't know the jargon. And so the person who got in touch asked, well, how do I stick to listening to what my gut says, and I'm trying to use their more specific language, and my sense of things, and when I feel what they're saying may be their sense of things, their description of things, their mental, emotional interpretation of things. How do I stick to mine? And it actually is a good question. It's an interesting question because it's on the one hand incredibly clear and simple, but from the linear mind, the linear way that we brought up, kind of trained, indoctrinated to do different things, or socialized. It's a complex question. So one of the things that I began was to say, well, when you're playing with listening to your gut, how does that feel for you? Well, I never used to do it, but when I started doing it, it feels great. Okay. So you're comfortable in that. You're solid in that. It's fun. You're kind of, it's revealing information to you. Yeah, they said. Okay, great. Well, then, again, on the simple level, you've got your answer, because if you're feeling and as I said to them, tuning into yourself, to your knowing, to trusting that knowing, and your guidance, um, and what it's giving you, and the perceptions that are flowing from that. And this person had gotten better at being able to go more in the heart and stuff like that, and it's flowing from that. Then for you, for your perception, it's perfect. And they said something like, well, yeah, but this other person has this other perspective, another perception, and it involves me. In fact, it's directed at me, or it's something that's wanting me to do something, or get me to do something, or somehow connect in a way to fit into this person's perception. How do I square those two? And it's, as I said to this being, it's going to be different for everyone. The nuances are different, but for me, the wonderful thing is that I'm me, and I can tune into me, and I can feel and have a knowing, deep knowing, and a deep call, and I know in these moments what is there for me, what guides me, and I can feel it on every fiber of my being energetically. And I know that the exact same is true for every other being. And so in this conversation I was having, it's true for that other being. And it's a head scratcher there. Well, but so trusting your gut and being in that knowing place, and letting it guide your perception and illustrate your perspective for you is beautiful. And that's beautiful when the other being or beings, whoever you're coming into contact with, do the same. The wonderful part, the empowered part, the greater being, kick-ass greater being part that takes a bit more practice to embody, is that someone else's perception or perspective on something does not dictate yours. Doesn't dictate you changing the way you do things, feeling a certain way, moving forward or doing things a certain way, or taking on new roles or new adventures or new jobs or whatever it is that this person was talking about, a bunch of different things. And so you agree, and people will do that in different ways, but you agree that each flow is, each being's flow is each being's flow. And if there is not a connection, there may be ways you choose to play to shift that, so maybe there is more connection, or that you just joyfully, connect with each other exactly where you are. And that was where we left it. And it was interesting because this being who I hadn't talked with for years actually felt into and got an awful lot out of it from their gut place, from their feeling place. So it was, as always are for me, a cool connection all the way around. So play with it. And realize that you're you, and you have your knowing for you, and your perception and perspective, and how you flow. And when the heart is open, it's easy to navigate with others who don't, and who may want to let their perception, their perspective rule yours, or infringe on yours, or dictate. Yes. There's so much happening, and it really is delicious. I love you.